All right, you guys, if you have been consistently posting online or creating content every week and you are wondering why nothing is working, you're hearing crickets, maybe you're like, why am I doing this every single week and I'm getting no sales? This is something that I hear my clients and students complain about all the time. They're like, I'm posting every day and nothing's happening. I am posting, I'm blogging, and nothing is happening. It feels like I'm talking to no one. So what I'm going to share with you guys today is a big fat welcome to the club, my friends. I have been doing this for 13 years. My business makes over 6 figures. And to this day, it feels like I'm talking to no one. Many days, not every day, of course, but a lot of days, that is part of creating content for your business, is being okay when there are no responses, being okay with that feeling of talking to no one. So we're going to talk about this today. We're going to go deep into this topic. And of course, as always, here on the Messy Success Podcast, I have some behind the scenes for you guys. That is my favorite thing to share here. This is the most vulnerable place to learn about me as I build my business. And we are so many episodes in at this point. You can rewind like 7 or 8 years and be here on the journey for when it all started. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast, where your growth is our favorite topic. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson, and here on the podcast, we share behind the scenes of building a business using our community-based marketing and real-life lessons that make your business easy and profitable. We help you combine your dharma, your unique skills, and your offers to build the business of your dreams on your terms. I don't give average business advice. I'm here to help you unlock the superpowers that are already within you. So make sure to follow along, and I promise you will start becoming even more magnetic, and you will see your own community grow around your brand. All right, so let's get into this burning topic of you're posting every single day and nothing is working. This is literally the way that everyone likes to say this. Nothing is working. And I want to challenge that assumption today. Maybe you're measuring the wrong thing. What is it that you're hoping that your social media posts will do for you? Are you looking to go viral or get comments or get followers or generate leads, whatever it might be? What are you actually measuring? And I want you guys to think about this, because when you go over to my Instagram account, sure, there's some posts that perform well, but there are plenty that get 0 comments, okay? And that's because this game is not about getting all the comments and getting all the likes. This game is about building familiarity, building trust. How can you be someone that people know you are going to show up every day? That builds trust when you can show up even when nobody's listening. Maybe someone is quietly trying to decide if they want to work with you for months. And it's always been this way. When I used to help people in their Facebook groups, they would always say, I'm posting and nobody's engaging. Nobody's commenting. Nobody's engaging in my Facebook group. Then once I actually taught them how to measure those analytics, over 40% of people in their group, on average, were seeing their posts. So a Facebook group is just an example, but when you click that read more button inside a Facebook group, that actually counts as engagement. But we can't physically see that with our eyes. It's not giving us any kind of validation, right? But what I could tell people is that, hey, by the way, 40% of people are seeing your posts compared to the 0.2% on Instagram, right? That is the latest updated statistic as to how many people that follow you on Instagram are actually seeing your posts. 2%, that's pretty depressing, right? So it's like, of the people that follow you. Now, of course, now there's all these algorithms that people who don't follow you can see your stuff. But I just care about the people that follow me. I just care about the people that have raised their hand saying, I want to hear what you have to say. And we want those people to be able to see our stuff. Who cares if there's likes or comments or engagement? I know plenty of people who have viral post after viral post who aren't actually making any money. And then plenty of people who barely have a social media platform at all who are making millions. So we need to get out of this one equals the other mindset and into this acceptance that when you are building a business, social media is a tool and it is part of your marketing ecosystem. It is not the end all be all. It is simply part of the marketing ecosystem. It is part of how you build that familiarity over time. When I think about email marketing, right? I email my list every single week. Am I well aware that so many people don't even open those? Yes. But you better freaking believe they are seeing my name every single week. And that compounds when they see your name on Instagram, when they see you in their email inbox, when they see you on LinkedIn or on Threads. All of that compounds into building this overall trust in your business, regardless of likes and comments, virality, all of that. Okay. Building a real business doesn't rely on those things to perform a certain way, but it does rely on those things to perform consistently over time. So you can think about it like the stock market. So let's use my podcast, for example. This is episode like 245 or something like that. Okay. So the podcast, some episodes do really well and some don't. Just like posting on Instagram. Some posts are going to do really well and some don't. But the most important thing to measure is that over time, is your business making more money, regardless of what's happening on social media? I mean, Instagram used to give me so much more engagement than it does now. The whole platform has changed. That's why I'm hanging out over here on TikTok. I think it's way more fun, right? But over time, do you have that through line where your business is improving regardless of what's happening on social media? And that's why I've been saying recently over and over that I have built an algorithm-proof business. I have built a social media-proof business because it doesn't matter to me the likes, the comments, or engagement because my business is already running. So those of you that are listening, they're like, but I'm brand new and I'm posting and nothing's happening. I hear you, and I want you to know it can happen fast or it can happen slow. The key is that you have to be okay with it either way. The entrepreneurs that make it are the entrepreneurs that become obsessed with the journey, and they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere regardless of whether anyone is listening or not listening, because they're not driven by the result. They're driven by the process, okay? Because real entrepreneurs know the results are going to come and go, but who is in the game for the long haul? Who is willing to record 200 and some podcast episodes, regardless of how many people are listening? So yes, we've grown over time, of course. You do something long enough, like we're such a small percentage of podcasts that even have that many episodes. So of course, it is going to build trust and perform over time, but there's no overnight success story here, right? And some people do get the overnight success story, but is it sustainable? Now let's talk about some of these influencers that do really well, really fast. Like, I don't even know her name, but the one that's doing the Yap Challenge, right? It's like a super hot topic in the digital marketing world right now. This was a new business for her, but she's not new to entrepreneurship. So when you're an entrepreneur and you start over with an idea, you're never really starting over because you're bringing that wisdom with you. So my business could crash and burn today, and I have zero fears because I have 13 years of wisdom on how to build a business. I would just do something else. or I would just start over. We bring that wisdom with us. And that's why you see these entrepreneurs that are in it for the long haul. And that's why you see people that are brand new getting really frustrated and giving up, because they think one hot post on social media is going to suddenly have their business take off. And that's just not necessarily the truth. So let's talk a little bit about the actual posting and strategies and some things that you can look at if you're not getting the results you want. Okay. So are you actually solving a problem, right? Is your business solving a problem? Is it something that is keeping people up at night? So technically I'm a business coach, so I help people do what they love and make a living doing it, right? So that does keep them up at night if they have a business that isn't monetizing or they don't know how to start a business. And they're saying things like, oh my God, I'm posting every day and nothing is happening. And I know the language they use and the way they speak about their problems. But a lot of my content is actually just simply more inspirational, motivational, golden nuggets of wisdom, because I like to create content that's shareable or that has someone just say, oh, wow, that landed or that resonated. I look at my content a lot of times as like, I'm attracting people with similar values. That's it. I'm like, what can I post today that's inspiring me? And can I call in people with similar values? And that's it. And I time and energy is money, you guys. So I am not spending 30 minutes to an hour posting my social content. We're talking like 15 minutes a day. Now I'm longer here when I go live on TikTok or things like that, of course, but I don't have to generate content. I'm not in that content hamster wheel. So is your content and your business actually solving a problem for people? So there could be a messaging problem or an alignment problem or a sales problem, but you've got to know how to diagnose these problems. And that's exactly how I help my clients as we work through the 4 phases of building a business, which are branding, marketing, sales, and visibility. And you've got to know how to diagnose your problem, which is why on this podcast, at the end of every episode, you hear about our quiz where you can self-diagnose which phase of business you're stuck in and exactly what to do next. Because if you don't know how to diagnose these problems, then you can't fix them, right? It's like a car. If you don't know what's wrong with it, because you're not a mechanic, then you don't know how to fix it. So I am like the mechanic of building businesses. Like, let's look at the data behind your business and let's diagnose what's actually going on. When people arrive to your content, are they clicking over to your website? Like maybe you're getting tons of visits on a landing page, but no conversions. Then we know where to improve, right? Most people, though, actually aren't getting the traffic to their sales page or their landing page. And all of a sudden they think they've got a bad offer. So they start over and they think this magical offer is going to solve their problem when actually it was a traffic problem. So you have to be able to know how to diagnose these problems to really know what's going wrong. So when we say things like, I'm posting on social every week and nothing is happening, that is not data-driven, empowering language. That is like you're projecting your feelings on what your business is doing. You feel like nothing's happening, when really, if you look at the numbers and you know how to diagnose the issues in your business, you can figure out exactly what's going wrong, right? And maybe it is working. Even when my social media posts do not get a ton of likes or engagement, I know that it's working because my bank account is growing, right? So not everything is going to have this perfect validation, right? Like when a post does well, people tend to be validated. People come to me all the time when they're trying to get help in their business and they start telling me about their offer. And then they quickly go into, and oh my God, I helped this one client and I changed her life and she told me this and she told me, like, that's validation. You are living in validation land. I don't care, right? I believe you. I know that your business works or you wouldn't be here. I know that you're smart. I know that you can solve problems. You don't need to validate that to me, but they're not actually validating it to me. They're validating it to themselves. So this whole concept of like expecting this result out of your social media is like you're seeking the validation when the validation is in showing the F up for years and years and years. That's your validation, right? I don't need to pull out statistics on how many people have been downloading my podcast. The validation is that we have over 200 episodes. And like, if that says anything, that says I ain't going anywhere. And people trust that, right? So this is a really interesting line of like, the results don't matter, but of course they matter. But you've got to be able to diagnose the problems in your business to know exactly what to focus on. And it is not the algorithm. The algorithm is not your business partner, okay? If the algorithm disappeared, what would your business do? I know so many people that rely on one platform for their revenue. And to me, that is such a big no-no, because if one platform went down, it wouldn't matter, because I've got this whole marketing ecosystem that is community driven, that is human connection driven. So don't let your business just depend on one app that could literally go away tomorrow. And then what wisdom are you taking with you? You're taking wisdom on how to use one app. You want your wisdom to encompass your business holistically, and you want to know how to diagnose those problems. Okay? All right. So let me look over my notes here and see what I'm missing. Hopefully, those of you who are waking up saying I'm posting every day and nothing's happening are starting to get a little bit of a different perspective on how you can measure that and what you can do next. So some questions that you can ask yourself if you want to work on self-diagnosing some of this. Instead of asking, why isn't this working? I want you to think about, am I talking about a real problem? Am I solving a real problem? Is my message clear and easy to find? You guys, those of you that are watching on TikTok right now, if you tell me you have a business and I click over to your profile and I see no signs of a business, right? Your business is not easy to find. Marketing 101, make it really easy to find what you do and how you help people, okay? Don't make people go searching for that information. Scream it from the rooftops. If you want your business to succeed, scream from the rooftops how you help people. Make it easy to find, okay? Are you inviting people into the conversation, or are you just talking at them? Can they find you? Can they follow a journey on how to work with you? And then, of course, like, have you even given the strategy enough time, right? Posting every day for a week is not enough time. I would argue 30 days is not even enough time. I would argue 3 months is a little bit more of a proper time for an experiment to see what results it can actually drive in your business. All right. So let's close out with a few more nuggets. Oh, and then I promised some behind the scenes. I mean, you guys, I'm in the new podcast studio, but I'm not here for the first time, but like my setup is so much better, which is really exciting. Okay. So here's what you also might be missing. This is like what makes me really unique is like becoming the local authority in your area. So even if you're building an online business or you're a social media content creator, please do not sleep on your local area and becoming the local authority. All right. Start hosting like actual in-person events or live on Zoom. That's cool too. But I want you to ask yourself, like, how can people get the experience of you? Okay. How can people get the experience of you? And that's going to look like either hosting your own events, going to events, showing up live versus just creating content, because you cannot fake it live. I cannot fake this live. I'm literally speaking into thin air right now. There's nothing that can be faked, right? So how can you give people the experience of you? And creating content can give people a taste, but it's still, if it's pre-recorded, then it's curated. And there's still a hint of that. That's not the 100% experience of you. How can you get people in a room with you, whether it's live or whether it's virtual? Okay. How can you get on more stages, get on more podcasts, build a community around your brand, And I know for me, my online business completely changed when I actually leaned into my in-person network, which sounds counterintuitive, okay? But it is so true, because what happened is building my in-person network and my in-person authority gave me so much social media content, social proof, people sharing and tagging me all the time, and just leveraged that online presence. It was very, very clear that that was one thing I did that changed the game, because that like fed the beast of the online machine. Okay. So if your online machine is not working, then I encourage you to see if you can become the local authority in your area. So what can you do to actually give people the experience of you in person? All right. Oh, and this is one too that I've said this before. How can you serve the people who are already paying attention? So visibility isn't going to solve a sales problem. If you can't sell to 10 people, then you can't sell to 10,000. So how can you be unforgettable or be worth talking about to the people that are already paying attention to you? All right. So I'll leave you with a little challenge. For the next 7 days, I want you to spend less time creating your content and more time creating connection. So less effort. Let's not effort our way into this. Let's make more connection. How can you go have coffee with someone? How can you give someone the experience of you? I heard once that if you help one person reach their 90-day goal, that that will take your business to the next level, right? You can help one person achieve their goals, then you now become unforgettable to them, and they become, your biggest fan, whatever it might be. Okay, I remembered the behind the scenes that I was going to share. It's really only super exciting if you're local here to Hampton Roads, but you guys know that I have this group called Hampton Roads Creative Network. This actually existed before COVID. It was a paid community, and in the last 3 years, I have brought it back as a free community, and it is a big kind of feeder for my annual in-person event. So we meet once a month, Hampton Roads Creative Network. It's totally free right now. And then we have our big annual event in April that is a lot of local people as well as people that come in from, all over the United States. And my friend Angie, shout out to Angie, has been building us a website. And this has an entire directory. And we don't have everyone on there yet. Basically, what I'm doing is giving my Elevate students that are local access first to help us beta test it out. But I wanted to share it on here because you guys can go have a little sneak peek at hamptonroadscreativenetwork.com. If you are local, feel free to hit that apply button and you can fill out the form, and then I can go in there and I'll either approve it or I'll message you depending on kind of where we are in the process. But, I need people on the site testing it out, seeing what works, what doesn't, so that we can continue to improve it. But it's really exciting. It's got a directory with all of our local. The goal is that it will eventually have all of our local members. It's got events, like a whole calendar view of local events here in Hampton Roads, job postings, like opportunities, things like that. And there will be opportunity for sponsorship as well. So this is really exciting. This is like one of those like long game things that I've been working on. And I feel like I get to work on it because this side of my business, is doing so well that it allows us to be creative. And this was like a really cool opportunity for Angie, but I'm so incredibly grateful for her for building it and for kind of teaching me how to use Base 44. And she's really killing it. So make sure that you guys go check out Angie on Instagram, Angie Janine. She's all over the place. She's very easy to find. Just go to any of my profiles and you can find Angie. And we'll put her in the show notes as well. But she's really leaning into some of these like AI tools. And she's basically like a marketing tool engineer. She doesn't want me to use the word engineer, but I like using the word engineer. So I wanted to give her a shout out and tell you guys you can run over there and sneak peek hamptonroadscreativenetwork.com. It's amazing. And I will, be sharing more once it's official. We're going to get it all tested out. We're going to get all of my current students on there. And then I will eventually be opening it up to the rest of Hampton Roads Creative Network. So if you guys are local, make sure that you connect with me so that I can get you involved in all of that and our monthly meetups. If you're not local, I'm sorry. Eventually, maybe we'll start other chapters. I don't know if it'll grow that much, but okay, that was my behind the scenes nugget for today. And I was live on TikTok while I was recording this episode. So that was a little nerve wracking, but I think we did it.
Yay! Thank you so much for being here and pushing play today. It really means the world to have you here, and this podcast wouldn't exist without you. If you're curious about your next step in business, don't forget to take our next step action quiz at elizabethhenson.co/next, and it will tell you exactly what is your next move. If you love this podcast, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, or leave us a review. It truly means the world to us and keeps us going. If you have a question or maybe a barrier in your business, we would love to invite you to submit your question, and we are even starting a new series where we will be coaching live on the air. So if you want to hear more about that or have your question answered or just maybe feel brave and vulnerable to share about your business here on the podcast and get some support live on air, go to elizabethhenson.co/ask, and we really hope to hear from you. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.